Hi, my name is Nico Luce, and this is Clara Roberts-Oss. We're here to offer you a yoga practice, and I hope you enjoy it. Just go with the flow. Start from where you are. Just connect to the breath and initiate your Ujjayi pranayama. Through your nostrils, inhale fully and exhale completely. Just focus on every cycle of your breath. Start feeling the expansion and the contraction. And we'll be moving with the breath as one. So on the next inhale breath, lift your arms up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your centered chest. Keep doing that 4 more times. As you inhale and you lift the arms up, you get grounded, press into your sit bones. And then as you exhale with your eyes, follow your hands all the way down to your centered chest. The inhale breath is a downward movement energy of your lungs. And as you exhale, the diaphragm elevates and everything meets at your centered chest. Just 2 more like that. Inhale, find space in the front, sides, and back. And then as you exhale, hug it all back in. 1 more. Inhale, lift the arms up. Now, on the next exhale breath, bring your right fingertips to your right. Take another inhale breath here and get long in the sides of the body. And then keeping the left sit bone on the ground, take the upper body up and over to the right. Inhale, come back up, lift the right arm up. And then as you exhale, lower the left hand and go right into it, and opening into the right side body. Just like that. As you inhale, lift the arms up. And then as you exhale, open the left side. Nice and slow. You just follow the breath as if you were dancing with the most amazing dancer. So you let the breath take you into it, in and out. Thinking only plays a small part. So inhale, you come up, and then as you exhale, you lengthen that side. Just 1 more on each side. As you inhale, come back to center, find length and space in the spine, in between every bone. Exhale, you move into it. Use your intuition. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. We need to do 1 more so we finish it off. Opening the right side body. Good. On the next inhale breath, come back up. As you exhale, lower the arms halfway. Take an inhale breath and lengthen once again from hips to armpits. And then as you exhale, twist to your right. So you're going to take the left hand to the right knee and the right fingertips behind. Take an inhale breath here and lengthen through the whole spine, both sides. And then as you exhale, if there's any space, you twist. Just 2 more cycles. And make sure you don't get stuck. Be so grounded that you can be moving with every breath. When the next inhale breath comes, ride it back to center. Stretch the arms out like wings. And then as you exhale, twist over to your left side. Right hand to right knee, left fingertips behind. And inhale, follow the wave of the breath. From bottom to top, you lengthen. And then with the exhale, you twist. Just like that. Stay there. Inhale, lengthen. Imagine that from the back of the right rib cage, you initiate the twist. That's it. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. From bottom to top, exhale to twist. On the next inhale breath, come back to center. And then as you exhale, release your hands. Now come on all fours, turn towards the front of your mat. Set your hands outer shoulder distance apart under your shoulders, knees below the hips. And with the next inhale breath, we're going to start into cow and cat pose. So we're going to start arching the spine. Keep the knees down, but lift the sit bones and offer your heart and lift your chin up. And then as you exhale from head to hips, go back into the flexion of the spine. Inhale from hips to head, so there's a wave that moves from bottom to top, opening the spine in a sequential order. And then as you exhale from head to hips, tuck your chin, around your upper back, middle back, lower back, and finish it at the tail. Just 3 more like that. Inhale. To open it up, turn your biceps forward gently. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin, press your chest into your upper back, front ribs into back ribs, navel to spine, and tailbone descends. Inhale, initiate it from the base, as if you were climbing up a ladder. And then as you exhale from the top, you descend. Inhale to open through the front gate. Exhale, open the back line. Nice work. On the next inhale breath, come into a neutral spine, and then walk your knees about 3 inches further away from your hands towards the back of your mat. And tuck your toes and press the tops of the feet as if they were into Cobra already. Take an inhale breath and find the extension in the spine. Open your chin, look up. As you exhale, bend your elbows and lower your chest and chin to the floor. This is Ashtangasana. On the next inhale breath, move into Cobra. So lower the pubic bone and take your shoulders to your back, open throat. And as you exhale, pick your hips up and take it into Malasana, Child's Pose. So that's the Krama. On the next inhale breath, you come up onto all fours. Find extension through the spine, so you're already getting into your back bend. As you exhale, lower your chest and your chin to the ground. Inhale as if you were moving from under a fence, move into your Cobra. And then as you exhale, return into Child's Pose. Just 3 more cycles like that and make it really organic. As you inhale, you swell up, you come up, you offer your chest. As you exhale, you lower it down, keeping your hips and shoulders retracted. And inhale, move from under a fence into your Cobra, any height, whatever feels right. And then as you exhale, return back into Child's Pose. 2 more at the speed of your own breath. So make it very intuitive. You go by what you feel. Inhale to open it up. And then as you exhale, you move back into Child's Pose. We'll do just 1 more. Inhale, as you move, remember where you're coming from, the ground beneath. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale to any expression of your Cobra. And then from here, we'll move into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, use your core integration to lift the hips up and away. Stretch it out. Stay with the breath. 1 with the breath. Make it a point through the entire practice not to miss a single breath. On the next inhale breath, from your right inner thigh, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring your right knee in towards the chest and step your right foot by the right hand, all the way forward. Pause, root down, and when the next inhale breath comes, come on up into high lunge. Stay here for a few breaths. So the lift comes from your back leg, and you keep that left heel moving into hip socket, creating a lift to the pelvis, and the descent is through the front leg. So from your lower back, you release the weight into the right heel as if you were digging the heel into the ground. Just take 2 more cycles, and as you feel heavy and grounded from the pelvis down, just allow the upper body to reflect the contrary, the lightness and the space. Take your last inhale breath here, and with the next exhale breath, lower your hands, step your right foot back, plank pose. Take an inhale breath here, turn your biceps forward and look towards the front of your mat. Exhale, bend the knees, the elbows, and your chest to the ground. As you inhale, move into your Cobra or upward dog. Active feet, shoulders back, open throat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Settle down. On the next inhale breath, lift your left leg up. With the exhale breath, step your left foot forward. Set your foundation. When the inhale breath comes, you ride it. With the exhale breath, get settled. From your right heel, draw right thigh into hip socket and create a lift, a buoyancy on your right hip. And then with every exhale breath, you will release deeper into your left heel. Now as you inhale, imagine your back ribs expanding and rising up in towards the shoulders. And with the exhale breath, there's a descent as your heart sinks and your front ribs lower down. Just 2 more cycles, nice and slow. Then you're going to follow your next exhalation, lower your hands, step your left foot back, high plank. Take an inhale breath and look ahead. As you exhale, lower at once knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, find your back bend, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and away, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. We're going to hold the pose, but the breath keeps running through. Connect through the inner edges of your hands and the inner feet. Draw the forearms and the shins gently towards one another. And then as you roll the inner thighs back, turn your inner arms forward. Create space in your hips and your shoulders. Soft neck. On your next inhale breath, look in front of your hands. As you exhale, bend your knees and either walk or step your feet forward. Many steps, 1 step, your choice. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen halfway. And then as you exhale, bow and soften, release your neck. Now root down into your heels, bend your knees and come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Pause. Just let the legs do the work. Use your thighs to move your pelvis back. And then from the base of the spine, you enter energetically, press into the earth. For the last 2 breaths, you're going to let the arm bones, the head of the arm bones, to rest in your shoulder sockets so you create space in front and back. Now take your last inhale breath and look up toward your hands. Exhale, fold forward, empty out. Now bend your knees and set your hands in front of your feet and as wide as your shoulders. Start to put weight on your hands, inner edges of your hands connected. Lift the heels up and set your knees on the back of the upper arms. And this may be as far as you go into your arm balance. If you want to keep going, you're going to keep your pelvis lifted and you're going to step into the pose. So basically, whenever you're ready, you start transferring the weight forward onto your hands until your feet float up. And then hold the pose using the least amount of effort. Just 2 more breaths, inhaling into your back body, and with the exhale, empty the front body. Take your last inhale breath here, and with the exhale, either you step or you hop your legs back. Downward facing dog, stretch it out. Stay rooted through the right index knuckle. Take your mind to that point and press it down. We're going to shift the weight to the right hand, and you're going to walk your left fingertips off of your mat to the left, to about 9 o'clock, to the left side, and chest and fingertips. So you're not going to put any weight on the left hand, just for balancing purposes. On the next inhale breath, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, let your left heel settle down just by its own weight. And then from your right inner thigh, start opening your pelvis to the right. Keep your right leg extended and reach across. So energetically, you're rooting down through the right index knuckle, and you're expressing away through the right big toe mound. And just find space, any space. Take your last inhale breath. Look forward. Step your left hand forward and then step your right foot to the front of your mat. On the next inhale breath, root into your right heel and come up, high lunge. Keep your right arm lifted as if someone was holding you from the right hand, someone holding you from above. As you exhale, you're going to paint the front windows with your left hand, and you're going to take the left fingertips down to the floor into a twist. Take an inhale breath and lengthen. As your right sit bone moves deeper towards the back of the room, you create space in the right side body. And then as you exhale from the back of the left rib cage, turn your chest open. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. One more. Inhale, create space in the right side. Exhale, twist. Now from here, look down. We're going to move into side plank on the left side. So whenever you're ready, you're going to roll to the outer edge of the left foot. Press into your hand and outer edge of the left foot until your right foot gets lighter. And then you step it back. So heavy in the hand and the foot that your pelvis comes a little higher. Stretch your right arm overhead and find a nice lateral opening still in the right side body. Inhaling fully and exhaling completely. Take your last inhale breath here. As you exhale, look down, place your right hand, your right foot, and cycle through Vinyasa. From high plank to Ashtangasa, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, find a back bend that suits you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. So this time we're going to root down through the inner edge of the left hand. And once you feel that your left shoulder is integrated and wide, walk your right fingertips off of the mat to the right. So most of the weight is on your left hand. Stay connected. On the next inhale breath, from the left inner thigh, lift your left leg up. As you exhale, allow your right heel to descend by its own weight. And when the next inhale breath comes, open your pelvis to the left side of the room. And then just pause there for a moment and feel this nice stretch that goes from the rooting into the left hand and expresses itself out through the inner edge of the left foot. Make space. On your next inhale breath, take your right hand forward. And then as you exhale, step your left foot by the left hand. As you inhale, charge into your left heel and come up, high lunge. And then you want to keep the left hand lifted. With the next exhale breath, lower the right fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen through the left side of your body. As you exhale from the back of the right rib cage, twist the chest open. Inhale fully and exhale completely. 2 more breaths like this. That's it. Now from here, look down. We're moving into side plank on the right side. You're going to start rolling to the outer edge of the right foot. And once you feel connected to the ground through outer foot and right hand, step your left foot over the right one. Press sharply into the earth, and as you inhale, lift your pelvis higher. And then as you exhale, stretch your left arm overhead. Just take 2 breaths. Imagine you could isolate the breath into your left lung and just create as much space as you can. That's it. Take your last inhale breath here. And then with the exhale, look down. Plant your left hand. Inhale, look ahead. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the earth. Inhale, find a back bend. Exhaling into child's pose. Take your knees down, take your hips back, rest your forehead. Just take this moment in stillness to feel your body from within. We know what we've done physically, but now just inquire energetically. What have you done? How does it feel? How can you tell? Now when I set the hands by the knees, put a little bit of weight on your hands so you can bring your knees together, knees touching, feet touching. Take your forehead as close as you can to the knees and the top of the head right into the mat. Reach back with your hands and hold onto your heels. And then with active tops of the feet on the next inhale breath, start lifting your hips up. The top of the head is pressing down as if you were in headstand, so your neck feels stable. And then as your thighs move back, the pelvis rises, and you feel the whole back line of the spine opening. Breathe into it. That's it. Now when I set the hands, release your heels and set your hands by your shins. We're moving into tripod headstand. So we want to keep the hands out of shoulder distance, charging the inner edges of the hands, just like you did a moment ago with the leg up. Yeah, if you have any pins on your hair, remove them. And then from here, whenever you're ready, press on the tops of the feet, lift the knees up. And then you can walk your feet a little closer and pause. This is perfectly fine for a headstand. You get all the benefits right from here. Stage 2, you would take your knees to the back of the upper arms. We call this the teddy bear headstand. So you feel still grounded. Stay there. Make sure your neck feels fine. You would be the first one to note if there's something off. And then if you feel like you can lift up, you're going to keep your feet together, de-weight your knees, and start lifting up. Just take 5 breaths. We position the pelvis right over the shoulders and the feet over the pelvis, and you would know if you're in alignment because you would feel centered and somehow light. The way down can be as you did it before, as you went up, or you could do it with the legs extended. Take your time, bring it down, knees to elbows, pause there. So the option is to come back into child's pose the way you know it, or to press up into crow. If you're pressing into crow, you're going to use your fingertips on the floor, and very gently you start de-weighting the head, using the least amount of effort. Otherwise, you would end up falling backwards. That's it. Nice work. Once your feet are down on the floor, take Malasana. So you're going to let your feet turn out a little bit. So the feet are in the same alignment as your thighs. And then pause, breathe, explore, experience. I'm going to keep the legs, the lower body exactly the same. Now move your chest a little bit further forward. Get the outer armpits into the inner knees. Then stretch your right hand to the floor in front of the right foot. And then as you inhale, reach forward with your left arm. Reach forward, create space on the left side body. And then as you exhale, you're going to lift your left hand up and twist. Again, we go in stages. Stage 1, you're fine here. Stage 2, you may be able to wrap your right arm in front of the right shin and reach behind your back. Then the left hand goes behind, and if you can interlace your hands, use that to create more space. Inhale as you lengthen, and then as you exhale, move the collarbones deeper onto your back. And switch. And whenever you're ready, release your hands, stretch your left fingertips in front of the left foot. As you inhale, lengthen out of your right hip, and with the exhale, turn your chest open, right arm up. Stage 1, you can stay with that. Stage 2, you can wrap your left arm in front of the shin, behind your back, then the right hand comes. Inhale, create a length that goes all the way from the pelvis, through the spine, even into the sides of the neck. And then with the exhale, you turn it open. On the next inhale breath, release your bind, and then walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. On the next inhale breath, lift your right leg up. With the exhale breath, step your right foot forward. Pause here. Lower your left knee to the ground. If you need more padding under the knee, you can flip the mat, put something. Otherwise, just pause there and breathe. And tuck your left toes and press down through the top of the left foot. Now, before we move into the hip opener, I want you to focus on the back leg. The back leg is the one that creates the lift for the pelvis. So press your left knee down and forward until you feel that your pelvis, instead of going down, is going up. With that lift, use the left inner thigh to move your pelvis to the left, a smidge over to the left. I cannot tell you how much, but any amount will create space. Then press into your right heel, and on the next inhale breath, come up. As you exhale, interlace your hands behind your head and turn your elbows forward. Bring the forearms towards one another. Now from your elbows, imagine you were moving the arm bones into the armpit so they become hollow and wide. From the base of the spine, root into your right heel, and on the next inhale breath, start lifting your chest up from your upper back. Any amount. Breathe. Concentrate on the downward movement, the right big toe mound pressing down. Put your mind into it. Your mind is not in your head. Your mind is in the entire body. We cannot separate mind and body. Keeping the back of the neck long. On the next inhale breath, release your hands and stretch away any amount, any direction. And then as you exhale, release. Bring your hands down to the floor. Take the right hand to the inside of the right foot and toe heel the right foot wider to the right and angle it any amount. Keep using your back knee pressing down to create a lift through the front of the left hip, and then with the next exhale breath, you start bending the elbows and lower the chest. Either you bring the forearms right onto the floor, and if your forearms cannot make it to the ground, you would place a block under your forearms. You would bring the floor up to meet your elbows. Stay there. Stay connected. Keep creating a lift from your back leg. So the left side of the pelvis is the one that is lifted by that action and is wide to the left. And then from your lower back, you keep rooting into your right heel. If you are down onto your forearms, we'll continue the sequence from here. Those of you who are on the hands, you continue from the hands. Now look at the front edge of your mat, and with your left hand, grab the mat. So your fingers are going to go under the mat. You're going to have a good grip. Take your right hand to the right knee. As you inhale, find space in the right side body. And then as you exhale from the back of the left rib cage, turn your chest open towards your right knee. Keep working through your back leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Eventually, the right arm could be lifted, but we don't have the right shoulder hyperextended. It's better to keep sight of your right hand and keep taking from the right arm bone, the right shoulder back. The next stage, look down. Press down onto your left hand so you can lift your left elbow off of the ground. Bend your left knee, reach back, and with your right hand, get a hold of the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale once again, find length in the sides of the body. Turn your biceps forward, so broaden the shoulders. And if there's space in you, you would bend your left elbow and you would lower it once again to the ground. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Shoulders open as if you were doing a back bend, as if you were in the middle of your cobra. And once your shoulders move back, the throat opens up, you can even lift your chin. So the instruction is generally to keep your gaze not at the heart, but in the direction that the heart is facing. And that is a really good instruction, not just for the yoga practice, but for our lives. What is your heart's true desire? On the next inhale breath, release your left foot. Take your forearms back down to the floor. Again, if you were doing this on your hands, you continue from your hands. Tuck your left toes under. First, lift your left knee up, so power up through your back leg. And whenever you're ready, you step your right foot back into dolphin plank. Take an inhale breath here. As you exhale, from the inner thighs, lift your hips up and away. You can walk your feet closer. Keep your forearms hugging in. Keep turning the inner armpits forward and the outer armpits backwards. If there's space, even walk your feet closer. Your knees can bend. We want to get the hips as high as possible. Now bring your big toes to touch. Stay rooted through the left foot, and on the next inhale breath, lift your right leg up. Keep your right leg lifted, thigh into hip socket, and then press with your left heel your pelvis forward. So the left heel comes higher and higher and higher. And switch. Lower your right foot. As you inhale, lift your left leg up. Settle down from left foot, thigh into hip socket, and then start lifting your right heel higher, taking your pelvis almost over the shoulders. And then release. Lower your left foot. Walk your feet a little bit further back, lower your knees, rest in child's pose. What is the reality of your experience? How does it feel in your body? Remain there as the witness. Judge nothing, but see it all. Whenever your breath came back to a full cycle, extend the arms forward and take it back into downward facing dog. On the next inhale breath, lift your left leg up. With the exhale, step your left foot forward. Lower your right knee to the ground and tuck your right toes and press down through the top of the foot. Press into your left heel, and as you inhale, come up into your lunge position. And then interlace your hands behind your head, opposite weaving of the fingers. Turn your elbows forward, hollow up the armpits. And then as you root down from the base of the spine into your left heel, from the back of the heart, lift the chest, and your hands are there working with traction to keep the back of the neck long. Any amount. Breathe into it. Remember that your back leg is creating the lift and the space. And it's through the front leg that you release yourself down into the ground. Stay connected, and when you feel ready, you can release your hands and stretch the arms in any direction, whatever feels good in you. Take your last inhale breath, and then with the exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Take both hands now to the inside of the left foot. Toe heel the left foot a little wider. You can angle it so it follows the alignment from the hip to the knee to the foot. Keep creating a lift through your right leg. Take an inhale breath, pelvis lifted. And then as you exhale, you can start bending the elbows and lower down onto blocks or directly onto the floor. Feel that. Breathe into what you feel. It implies that you are connected with feeling. And the breath is almost as if it was a messenger of peace. You befriend yourself with the feeling. You're not the feeling. You're the one going through it. So resist nothing. It's just a moment. And it will pass. If you're down onto your forearms, we'll continue the sequence from here. Otherwise, you continue from your hands. Look at the front edge of the mat. With your right hand, grab the front edge of the mat. Take your left hand to the left knee. So from the knee, you keep your left heel rooted onto the ground. Inhale, lengthen the left side body. And then with the exhale, you twist from right to left, from bottom to top, from back to front, from inside out. You can stay there, or you can stretch your left arm up. And then if you want to continue with this sequence, look down first, lift your right elbow up, bend your right knee, and then reach back with your left hand hold the outer edge of your right foot. Now as you inhale, turn your biceps out, forward and out. So you open up through the collarbones, you get your left shoulder onto your back. And then as you exhale, you move into the twist. If there's space, bring your right elbow to the floor. Take 3 full breaths here. Now release your right foot. Lower your left elbow to the floor. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up, and then step your left foot back. Forearm plank. Just take 3 breaths here. Rooted through the balls of the feet, through the forearms. Drawing the forearms and the shins towards one another, inner thighs up, inner arms forward. Take just your last inhale breath. With the exhale, lift the hips up and away. You can walk your feet closer and closer. Just stay there and breathe. And this time around, you can stay in your dolphin, or it feels right. You can try kicking up. Any variation that makes you happy. Stay connected to the ground and breathe. And then release, child's pose. Soften. Your best is plenty. Just always remember that your best is enough. On the next inhale breath, lift your head up, stretch the arms forward. And then from child's pose, we'll transition into Cobra. So as you bend the elbows, move with your chest close to the earth. Root down through the pubic bone. And then bend your knees and reach back with your hands and get a hold of the outer edges of your feet. Lower your forehead to the ground to start. Let the shoulders roll back on their own, with your biceps facing the ground. Press down onto your knees so your pelvis moves towards your heels. Just for a moment, you're going to feel the natural arch in your back. And then from the base of the spine, lengthen tailbone to knees. Your pubic bone will descend. On the next inhale breath, let your legs do the work. The feet are going to start kicking back onto your hands. And your chest will come up from the power of the legs. And as your chest rises, keep the throat retracted. You take the sides of the throat towards the back of the neck. And you lift your chin, roll towards the soft part of the belly. And then with your feet together, keep hugging in, and with your hands, lift your feet up higher. Just take 2 more breaths. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Stay on the soft part of the belly. Last inhale breath. Exhale, let it go. Release your legs. Turn your head to one side. Just remember the side you turn it towards. And keep taking deep breaths. As you drink the breath in, Fill up your lungs from bottom to top. So you breathe into your lower back, into your middle back, upper back, shoulders, throat. And then empty out from top to bottom as if you were drinking from a glass. Now bring your gaze back down. We're going to do a second set. This time when you bend your knees, you're going to reach back with your hands and instead of grabbing the tops of the feet, if there's space in you, grab onto the bottom of your shins or front of the ankles. Keep your forehead down, bring your knees closer to each other in case they had to go out for you to grab them. And flex your feet. So your toes are going to start pointing back. With this second variation, we're going to keep the knees on the floor, so keep the shoulders rolled back. As you inhale, find length and space, and then with the exhale, you're going to start kicking your shins towards the back of the room. This time with your hands, instead of lifting up, you're pressing the knees further down into the ground. Inhale, find more space in the sides of the waist. And then as you exhale, press your shins back. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale fully. Lift your chin up. Open through the throat. Exhale completely. Last breath. Inhale it all in. And then with the exhale, let it go. Turn the head the other way. Fall into stillness. And let the breath wash through you. Now, whenever you're ready, you're going to stretch your left arm forward and then roll over your left side of your body to lie down on your back. Center yourself on the mat once again. Bring your knees into your chest and hug the legs in. You can massage your back on the floor if that feels nice. You can draw circles with your knees. There is so much knowledge and wisdom within the body. So if we can use our practice to let the body tell us what it needs, then it becomes a more organic practice. Now from here we'll go into happy baby pose. So with your hands, you're going to grab the outer edges of your feet. And instead of pressing the knees down, use your feet into your hands to release the lower back down. Keep holding onto your right foot. And whenever you're ready, release your left leg straight up towards the ceiling. From the left foot, let the weight of the leg sink into your hip. And as you keep holding onto the right one, lower your left leg straight ahead. Slow. And as you lower the leg, you're going to feel that it changes the sensations on your right hip. Once your left heel is on the floor, and you may need to bend your knee in order to get there, you're going to start working through the left inner thigh, the left femur bone, towards the ground. On the next inhale breath, lift your left leg up. And then we're going to switch sides. So first, bend your left knee with a hand, hold on to the outer edge of the left foot, and then release your right leg straight up. Just like an hourglass, you let As time goes by, the right thigh come deeper into hip socket. So first we make the connection, and then you lower your right leg straight ahead. Gravity will do the work, but you give it direction. So in the light of your presence, you can lower your right leg straight ahead instead of out to the right. Once the heel is down, once you know where the ground is, through the right inner thigh, you bring the femur bone towards the back of the leg. On the next inhale breath, bring your right leg up. And then one last time, hug the legs into the chest. And then keeping the knees bent, when I release the arms and when I bring the feet down to the floor. Walk your feet out towards the sides of your mat, so away from one another, and keep walking them out until your feet are no longer on your mat. They're going to be on the floor. Feel the texture. Your feet will tell you where they are. Take an inhale breath here, and with the exhale breath, release both knees to your right hand side and your head to the left. Easy does it. If your knees feel that they need support, we could be adding blocks under. And once you feel that everything is fine with the knees, place your right ankle on top of the outer left knee. And instead of using the right foot to press the left knee down, use the traction of the right leg, the traction of the foot on top of the left knee, to make your left side body longer. So with your right foot, you're guiding your left knee further away from you, further away from the pelvis. Release your right foot to the floor. Bring your gaze back to center and your knees back up. Make sure your feet are still wider than the mat. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, take both knees over to your left side and your head over to the right. Assume nothing. Check with your body, check with your knees. If they need support, you're there to provide it. And then when you feel ready, you can place your left ankle on top of the outer right knee and assist with your left foot the lengthening of the right side body. Now release your left foot to the floor. As you inhale, bring your knees and your gaze back to center. And with the exhale, release your legs away for Savasana. to soften as quickly and as deeply as you can. You let your body rest in stillness and your mind rest in silence. And yet, you, the witnessing you, remains present. And then very gently start waking your body up in any way you like to wake up. And whenever you're ready, roll over to one side and just spend a few breaths in a fetal position. And now use your hands to come back up into seated. And take this moment to feel the blessings. Namaste.